Could it be? For me, you're me, Louie Tee. Welcome to this Louie Tee Network exclusive update. Scheduled programming for this upcoming week, 4/22 through 4/28. It is going to be bananas. This is going to be a busy week. As you can imagine, it's draft week, and this week is always off the charts in terms of busyness. So I wanted to come. This is a unique year for me because I'm going to be in a multitude of places. I'm going to have a lot of different things going on. And so I wanted to come to you and tell you what you can expect from me this week, what you should be looking for, where you should be looking at, and how you can support the channel. So let's go through what this week is going to look like here on the Louie Tee Network and beyond. Tonight, it's going to be simple. You're going to get a podcast from me tonight. It'll be in between the first game and the late game. So if I'm not mistaken, you got 76ers and Knicks, I think around 7-ish, 7:30-ish tip. I know Lakers and Nuggets is at 10. So in that gap, probably like 9:30, 9:45, I'm going to start the podcast. And we'll kind of talk about all the rumors, all the things that we've heard over the weekend. A lot of new uniforms being released here. I don't know if you've caught wind of that. A lot of teams going to the retro look. So we'll talk about all those things, all the rumors we've heard, and then going to really start to talk about these quarterbacks. I think this is the strongest quarterback draft I've seen since 2012. So we're going to talk about that tonight on the podcast and where we think some of these guys may end up when it's all said and done. But podcast episode tonight, live on the Louie Tee Network. So that's the Monday content. Tuesday, you're going to get your final command post live of the pre-draft season. So last command post live before the draft. We'll talk about any and everything that has to do with the Commanders prior to the draft, what we expect to happen, et cetera, et cetera. I feel pretty confident about what I think is going to take place. I think a lot of you kind of feel confident about a lot of the things that are going to take place. And we'll discuss all of that and then some come Tuesday night, okay? So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, you're going to get my top 7 cornerback ranking, draft eve. So top 7 cornerback ranking heading into the draft. You'll also get a mock draft from me, okay? I'll put it out the day before. I wasn't going to do a mock draft, to be honest with you. I was going back and forth about doing one because they don't do the numbers that they once used to. And everybody's putting out mock drafts. You get some people putting out daily mock drafts. It's overdone. It's overcooked. It's oversaturated. So, I'm not a big mock draft fan myself. So I almost didn't put one out this year, but in the spirit of keeping up with tradition, I'm going to put out a mock draft. I think it's going to be a fun one, if I can say that. I think it's going to be a lot of movement in the top 15 of this draft. And so I think the first half of the draft is going to be exciting. The second half, the latter half, not so much. But I think it's going to be a really good first round. And so I'll put out a mock draft on Wednesday. So then Thursday, draft party. Day 1. You guys know how this goes. We've done this multiple times. But draft party day 1, I'll be promoting that all week. I'll have the artwork and the link up and the live stream up probably by tomorrow night. So sometime tomorrow, you'll have that artwork. You'll have the link, and I'll be promoting it all week. Y'all know how this goes. Bring whatever refreshments, whatever beverage, whatever vice you like. The only thing not allowed is milk. You guys know the rules. So abide by them, please, and show up and get ready to have some fun. Remember, we got a major announcement here on the Louie Tee Network on that Thursday during the draft. We're going to make that announcement at the very middle of the draft between picks 16 and 17. So stick around because some of you are going to try to jet after Washington makes their pick at number 2. And I'll also caution you that Washington could be a trade candidate to come back into the first round. So if you're one of those that is only interested in Washington, you might want to stick around just in case Washington gets frisky and comes back into the first round. Again, the board is going to dictate whether they try to get aggressive and get back into the first round or not. But that's no here nor there. Forget about all of that. Do it for me, your man, Louie Tee, right? So come back. Major announcement. Thursday night, middle of the draft. You're not going to want to miss this announcement. Okay, you're not going to want to miss this announcement. So make sure that you are here for the day 1 of the draft party, right? Major announcement during that day. So Friday, day 2 of the draft. Normally I do that here on my channel. Not going to be doing that this year. However, I will have an after party. So it won't be draft party day 2 like it normally is. It's going to be after party. Why is there an after party? Because your man, Louie Tee, will be on Bleacher Report breaking down the second round and third round, day number 2 of the draft on Bleacher Report with 3 other content creators from all the other teams in the division. And so I'll be on Bleacher Report on Friday for the duration of day 2. And then soon as that is done, I mean, the second that we get off of that stream, come meet me for the after party on my channel here on the Louie Tee Network. And we're going to discuss in greater detail what the Commanders did in day number 2. We know this is going to be their most active day of the draft. They have 5 picks in day number 2, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. Will they make 5 selections? Will they make more than 5? Will they make less than 5? We don't know. But what we do know is they've got the most picks of any team in the league in day number 2. So it is going to be a very, very intriguing day, to say the least. So I'll be over on Bleacher Report. So once I get the link for that, I'll send it out to you guys. You can come over and support. Hold the kid down, because there'll be other teams in the comment section of that Bleacher Report video probably talking trash. And I ain't here for it now. Like, we back up. Now, we got work to do. I'm fully aware that we have work to do. But this ain't the Ronald Rivera, Dan Snyder era Commanders. This is all different. And so this is fresh and new. And I'm here for all the smoke at this point. I'm here for all of it. So y'all hold the kid down on Bleacher Report. And then as soon as that is over, so it'll probably be, normally day 2 is from 7 to 11, I think. So as soon as that's over, roughly at 11:05 or so, we should be live. The link will already be there. You guys will know what it is. And we'll come and we'll chop it up about the Commanders' activity in day number 2. So that's Friday. So recapping the week as we head into the weekend. Monday, which is today, Louie Tee Network podcast. All right, in between those 2 playoff games, in that pocket between the first and the second playoff game tonight. So it'd be roughly like 9:30, 9:45-ish. Tuesday, the final command post prior to the draft. We'll talk about all things Commanders, what to expect going into this draft. What will the reaction be if it's this, if it's that, and anything else that we can think of that pertains to this team as we head into the draft. Wednesday, you'll get a couple of uploads. I will not be live in any capacity on Wednesday because I got to rest, because I know I got a hell of a marathon coming up on Thursday, Friday, and possibly Saturday and into Sunday. So I'm going to rest and prepare myself, but you will get a couple of uploads. Top 7 cornerback ranking for this year's draft. I don't think it's a great cornerback class, to be honest with you. So if you want a corner, you best get it early, because as you get deeper into the draft, it gets kind of, the pickings get slim, right? It's not, and I don't see a star. There's no Sauce Gardner. There's no Derek Stingley Jr. There's no none of those types of corners, right? None of those guys that you see as a straight dog, right? I don't see any of those in this draft. The closest you're going to get is Quinyon Mitchell, and he has to prove to me, because you played at Toledo, so you have to prove to me, because generally when we get straight dogs, they played in the Big Ten, they played in the SEC, they played against elite competition that you're going to see on Sundays. So you can already extrapolate that and say, hey, this dude, he's got the juice. When you at Toledo and then you show up at the Senior Bowl and you dominate, well, them Senior Bowl receivers aren't the elites of the elites. They're NFL receivers. A lot of those guys are going to play on Sundays, but they're not the upper echelon top guys. A lot of those dudes are probably number 2 receivers in the league. So you might be showing your ability to shut down number 2s. Can you shut down 1s? We'll see. Him and the kid from Clemson have a chance. I'm not sure about the kid from Clemson either, though. Even though he played in the ACC, I got my questions and doubts about him. But Quinyon Mitchell has a shot. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the ball. He's got the ability to play the football and ball skills. He's the only one for me, really. Him and Nate Wiggins. But we'll see what happens. And then you're gonna get a mock draft from me. I was undecided as to whether I was gonna do a mock draft. What the hell? Why not? Right? Kind of feel like I know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen, which is the fun of all of this. But I'm gonna throw a mock draft out there on Wednesday, day before the draft. Draft party day 1 on Thursday. Got a major announcement in the middle of the draft party between picks 16 and 17. Don't want you to miss that. So make sure you're here for the draft party day number 1. Friday, little curveball. So I'm going to be live on Bleacher Report during day number 2. Feel free to join me over on Bleacher Report. If not, that's cool. Make sure you're here for the after party. Okay? Make sure you're here for the after party. So day 2 usually is from 7 to about 11 roughly. After that is done, immediately after, I'm going to be hopping on and talking about what the Commanders did, their activity. Remember, the Commanders are slated to have 5 picks in day number 2. So we're going to talk extensively during the after party here on the Louie Tee Network about what the Commanders did, their activity, and then what you should be expecting heading into day number 3. Okay. And then now we get into the weekend. Saturday. I'm going to be live after the draft has met its conclusion. So roughly around 9, the draft usually runs until about 7 on Sunday, from like noon to 7 or so. The draft runs. It's a pretty long day. We're going to digest everything that happened. And then around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm going to hop on live. We did this last year. I thought it was a really good format. And I think I want to run that back. So we'll kind of digest. I think you may get a presser from the GM and the head coach. I think that's what we've gotten in the past. I think you get one after every single day from them as to what they did, the activity and the player and what they saw, yada, yada, yada. So I expect that we'll get one of those in, after day 1, after day 2. And I think you get one kind of summing up the draft after day number 3. So if that is in fact the case, I don't remember if you get one after the final day or not. But if that is in fact the case, we'll probably wait until after that is done. So again, it'll be roughly 9 o'clock-ish or so, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then we'll jump on live and we'll kind of go over the day 3 activity and then kind of look at the draft as a whole. That's not my like grades for the players and all of that good stuff, because I wouldn't have had a chance to really do a deep dive into those players quite yet. But it'll be my first blush. Whether I have a working knowledge of these players, and I think for the most part, I have a working knowledge of most of the players that they select, because most of their picks are going to come within the first 100 picks. You know, you only got 3 picks thereafter. So it'll really be just those 3 guys that I probably won't have as intimate a working knowledge of what their game is all about. And I may be able to go in, do the work quickly, and then, you know, kind of talk to you about those guys that Saturday night. Normally I put out an actual video, and I still will do that regardless of whether we talk about it Saturday or not. I'm going to put out a video, and that'll usually be on Monday. I'm put that video out on Monday. Normally it's on Sunday, but the reason it won't be on Sunday this year is because on Sunday at 11 a.m., yours truly will be on Bleacher Report talking about the draft for the Commanders, kind of rating the draft, giving it a grade, kind of talking about what they were able to accomplish, how we feel about the draft, looking at needs that were knocked down. And then I think we can even have a discussion about post-draft needs at that point and what activity we think the Commanders may partake in. There could be some releases after the draft, guys that they may have held on to just to make sure that they got that position squared away before they were aggressive in moving on. I think they've done most of the parting ways with players, but you just never know, right? And then other teams may, you know, have some guys, you know, end up getting drafted, and now they can part ways with a few players. And, you know, you never know. Washington could be still active on that secondary free agent market post-draft. So if we see something that, like, if we come out of this draft and they don't take a corner, highly unlikely, okay, they're going to take a corner. But let's just say that they don't. That could be a position that they still look to address post-draft, you know. So whatever the case may be, we'll talk about all that stuff on Bleacher Report, 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. And then, as I said, Monday, you'll probably get my full draft breakdown for the Commanders, and then we'll go from there. But that is what the week is going to look like. Yeah, I know it's a lot. Podcast tonight, Tuesday, final command post prior to the draft. Wednesday, top 7 cornerback ranking and the mock draft for the entire first round. Thursday, draft party, major announcement in the middle of that draft party between picks 16 and 17. Don't miss that major announcement. Friday, I'm on Bleacher Report live for day 2 of the draft from 7 to 11. Immediately thereafter on Friday night, after party here on the Louie Tee Network, we're going to break down the Commanders' day 2 activity and talk about what it was that they partook in. Saturday, live stream. After the draft has met its conclusion, and hopefully we've heard from the GM and head coach, we will then break down the activity for the Commanders. I may even do and just have it be, I think I might just stick to the Commanders, and maybe Sunday, or I might just wait till Monday. It may be Sunday, you know, Sunday night. I may jump into the entire draft and what every team did, you know, and some picks that stuck out to me. Normally we do that Monday, and I may just wait till Monday. But, you know, we'll see how everything goes. I'll leave that up to how I'm feeling. I might be worn out and just don't have it in me, you know, come Sunday, and may say, you know what, I'll just get at it after it on Monday. But we'll see. But live stream post-draft for the Commanders. We'll get after that Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, 11 a.m., I'm on Bleacher Report talking about the Commanders draft in totality, talking about what they were able to do, how we feel about the draft, kind of giving it a grade, seeing the things that Washington may need post-draft. Obviously, they cannot knock down every single need that they have, but the expectation is that we'll be in a good spot. We feel like we're in a really good spot heading into the draft. Let's see how we feel coming out of the draft. Did they do enough? Did they do the things that we expected them to do? Did they take care of the positions that we had the most concern about? We'll have all those conversations post-draft on Saturday night live on this channel, and then the following morning, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. on Bleacher Report. And again, you'll have a link to that as well. So that is the activity for me, your man Louie Tee. This week is going to be nuts, as you could imagine. It's always crazy, but this year's a little bit crazier with Bleacher Report being added in and some different streams at different times. But all together, you know, at the end of the day, the essence is still what it's always been, which is the Louie Tee Network holding you down and giving you what you came here for, which is top-notch NFL content. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into the comment section real quick and get out of here. I didn't come here to talk your head off. Just wanted to give you guys a look at what the week is going to look like. And I'll give you one more reminder before we get out of here of what this week coming up is going to be about. JLG, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, "What's good, my guy? What's good, JLG? I understand it's draft week, but I need you to put more respect on my Knicks, LOL." Hey, that was a gutsy win in game one, even though Joel looked like he was about to go for a 40-piece before he re-aggravated the knee. You're going to need your superstar to play a lot better than he did, because if not for some timely shot making from Mr. Hart, your ass would have been down 0-1 and you'd have been the only home team to not win. I'm just going to tell you this. You didn't do anything that you weren't supposed to do, right? You're home, you're favored. You're not actually favored in the series, which, again, I'm not the only one that thinks the 76ers are going to win this series. And if you win tonight, it's not going to change anything. All you've done effectively is protect home court, which is what you're supposed to do. You don't have to do anything but win at home and you'll win the series, right? NBA series don't actually begin until somebody wins on the road. Otherwise, if every home team wins every home game, then the series is going to go in the favor of the team that is the better team, record-wise and seeding-wise. So somebody's got to win a road game, okay? And if the 76ers plan on winning the series, they're going to have to beat you on the road at some point. If they don't, they won't win the series. And if they don't win tonight, they're in some trouble. But again, it would mean that they just got to go home and protect home court. Joel's knee is bothersome because they can't win the series if he can't play at the level that we're capable of, that we know he's capable of. That was the advantage. You not having Julius Randle, them having Joel. If they played the way that they played, and again, I can't expect Kyle Lowry to play the way that he played, but he was exceptional. But he got canceled out by, Hart in the way he played and some shots he made down the stretch, which was just insane. And then OG Anunoby had the big three down the stretch as well. Timely shot making by the Knicks. Big win, right? But we're going to see, right? We're going to see what happens. You won a game. Boy, you Knicks fans are something else. I tell you, I was sent a video by someone of Knicks fans chanting, "We want Boston." You won a game, right? One game in the first series. Boston is the #1 seed, right? You have to win 2 series, 2 whole series, 8 whole games before you get to Boston and you're chanting, "We want Boston," as if you're that nice. I hope you make it to Boston. I hope you make it there. I just don't think you're going to make it to Boston. But I look at the rest of the East and I say, if you get past Philadelphia, who's stopping you from getting to Boston? Who's stopping you? Because I don't see anybody else out. Well, I take that back. Milwaukee can stop you, right? Milwaukee can stop you. And that's who you'll probably have to play, because I see them taking out Indiana. And if Giannis comes back healthy, which the assumption is that he will, look out, because it's playoffs now and they know what's at stake and they have championship pedigree, do the Bucks. So anyway, I digress. We'll see what your Knicks do tonight. Nick Riley, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Nick writes, you already know what's good, bro. I told you Drake May is on the way, and send a prayer to my Lakers. We need all we can get. Also, F D-Lo. So let's kind of take that piece by piece. Drake May could very well end up in New England, or excuse me, in Minnesota. Like, it's not far-fetched. We'll see what Washington does at 2. I think all signs are pointing to the Commanders taking Jaden Daniels, but don't rule him out at number 2, he being Drake May. The Patriots are very interesting because if Jaden Daniels is their guy and he's not there, if Washington takes him, they may decide that, okay, we can trade out of the pick. My assumption is that, again, much like Washington, I think I feel the same way about the Patriots. I don't know the inner workings of how the Patriots think. More, I know how Washington felt about this process, which is why I said don't expect Washington to move off of the second pick, because when you suck as bad as we sucked, and quarterback is the reason that you suck, one of the reasons, I won't say it is the reason, but it's one of the big reasons, and we've been in the quarterback wilderness for quite some time, you probably need to address quarterback. Washington is going to do that. I can't say the same for the Patriots, right? I don't know what their thought process is. They've revamped their entire organization. It is not the same organization that we've once come to know and love, or come to know and hate, depending on who you talk to. There's no more Bill Belichick. He's no longer your de facto GM, head coach, and overseer of all things Patriots. They now have Elliott Wolf in the front office. They now have a new head coach in Gerard Mayo. They are going to do things differently. And doing things differently may mean, hey, don't need a quarterback at 3. We're going to roll with Jacoby Brissett, pick up some picks, try to fast track this thing and get better overall. Or they could do the smart thing. Okay, I think that would be foolish on their part, but I can't tell them how to run their organization. Take the quarterback. If you really, truly believe in Jacoby Brissett's ability to play and start, then you can draft Drake May. Let him sit for a while behind Jacoby Brissett. Start Brissett. Let Drake May develop, because he's got a higher upside than J.J. McCarthy, and leave J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings. That's ultimately what I think is going to happen. You're going to get left out in the cold, and you're not going to be freezing. J.J. McCarthy's a solid option, but you'll be in the same spot you were just in with Kirk Cousins, and McCarthy's probably not as good as Kirk Cousins. So there's that. But he is a winner. 27-1, like 36-2 in high school. So he's a winner. We'll see what happens. But good luck in your quest to get Drake May. I wish you nothing but the best. Hope you come away with your guy. All I can tell you is don't set yourself up for disappointment. Okay? Don't lock yourself into Drake May. Be open-minded to the endless possibilities that could arise, including your ass having to sit there and sulk at 11. Entertain all the possibilities. Okay. Your Lakers are dead meat. They should have did what I said, which was lose the 7-8 matchup, beat the Kings, and end up in they would have won. You would have beaten OKC. That performance, they would have lost to any other team in the West on Sunday night, other than the team they played, which was the Pellies without Zion. So you had your chance. You blew it. You decided you wanted the extra day off or days off. You wanted to go after the champs. Bad move. That's bad news. You could have been doing what you did to us last year. You were a 7 seed last year. You took us out. You could have been an 8 seed and took out OKC instead. You decided to be a 7 seed again and try your luck. This time against a much more experienced championship caliber team. You're going to get your ass reamed because of it. You'll be lucky to get 2 games. I think I'm going to be nice and give you 2, but you'll be lucky to get 2 games. You're going to get one. You're not going to get swept here like you did last year. But you'll get one at least. But there's no prayers, and I don't want anybody hurt. I want to see a clean postseason. And if that happens, you're dead. Dead, I tell you. And look, you cursed D'Lo's name, and he made some mistakes, had a bad turnover, missed shots, he couldn't hit anything. But that's D'Lo. You've been through this already. That's the D'Lo experience. Tonight, he might hit 6 threes and score 28 points and lead you to a victory. You already knew what you signed up for. Stop crying about him. Because when he does go off, and he does go nuclear, and he does hit 6 threes, and you win, then you love him. Can't have it both ways. Got to take the good with the bad. I used to have to do the same thing with Dylan Brooks, okay? You just take it. It is what it is, right? You don't know which D'Lo is going to show up. But he's going to keep firing. A1 the Great. Been a member for 25 months. Truly appreciate you. What up, Lou? Let's pivot a little bit. Who you got, Drake or K. Lamar? LOL. Again, I'm going to save all of that commentary for MusicHead University. But I'll say this, and I'm going to talk more about this on MusicHead. That freestyle Drake had using AI with Tupac and Snoop Dogg, that shit was weak. That shit was whack as hell. That was some lame ass shit he did. And we'll talk more about it on MusicHead University. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Twin D, writes, LT, let's hope the Commanders do to the draft what Chris Brown just did to Quavo. Yikes. We'll talk more about that on MusicHead University as well. So Chris Brown just decided on Sunday morning, or was it Saturday morning, he just woke up and decided to choose violence. Just randomly on a Saturday morning, just woke up and decided to choose violence. Damn. Just a reminder to those of you out there that think shit's sweet, don't try a VA dude. Just leave us alone, man. Don't try nobody from VA. Leave us alone. It's that simple. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, I think the Jets traded Zach Wilson to the Broncos. Let's see if you're right. They've been trying to move him for a long time. I think the timing is a little odd if they did, in fact, do that. Let's see. Yeah, Zach Wilson traded to Denver. Late quarterback. They did a late pick swap, which sounds about right because his market is almost completely dead at this point. So the Jets wanted to get from under him. They have. And so we'll see what they do now. You would assume that they'll be looking. Maybe they don't look this year. Maybe they look next year. But they got to start planning for the future behind Aaron Rodgers, obviously. You don't know how long he's going to play for. Maybe he's already informed the organization of how much longer he'd like to play. But you just never know how these things go. He got injured last year. Nobody foresaw that happening. And if he gets injured again this year, he might be like, you know what? F this shit. I'm done. You just need to be prepared for whatever happens. But Zach Wilson didn't work in New York. And it's unfortunate that Rodgers got hurt because his stay in New York could have ended totally differently. You know, it could have been a totally different ending for him. Had Aaron Rodgers played all last year, he sat and learned, gained a little bit more confidence, saw what it's supposed to look like, and then was thrown back out there. He might have been a different dude. But everything that they had planned on doing with him was out the window when Aaron Rodgers got injured and he had to play. And it looked much like it did the 2 years previous. And so they're done with him. That ship has sailed. He'll get a fresh start with the Denver Broncos. I still think the Broncos are taking a quarterback. I do not think this changes anything for them. What it does do is it allows them to not take one in the first round. I don't think they were going to do that anyway. And it allows them to kind of see where Bo Nix, I think Bo Nix is their guy, but I've said this already. We'll see what happens, right? That's what the draft is all about. But this move makes sense from this standpoint. And I still think it was interesting, the timing of it, because, again, I've told you this many a times, deadline spur action. The draft is this week. They've known that they wanted, Zach Wilson for a long time. The Broncos probably did. They just wanted to make sure that they didn't have to overspend for him. Nobody else was interested. The Jets were desperate to move on from him. And so they waited until the Jets got to this point, knew that they were up against the clock. They didn't want to go into the draft with Zach Wilson still on the roster. If you're the Broncos, you want to put yourself in a position where you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, similar to what we've seen Washington do, right? They've added a boatload of veterans from outside of the organization, bringing them in, and it put them in a position where they don't have to do anything they don't want to do, but there's still some things they need to do. Same with Denver. They don't have to do anything they don't want to do, but they still need to draft a quarterback. Zach Wilson is not the answer, right? So we'll see what they do, but this puts them in a position where if a quarterback that they really like falls into their lap, sure, right? That's not going to happen, though. The top 4 quarterbacks in this draft aren't going to fall into your lap. You either go up and get them or you make plans on drafting another position. What it does do is it makes Denver feel good about not trading up or doing anything ridiculous in the event that they don't get their guy, in the event that somebody else is more aggressive than they are in attacking the quarterback position. They're like, hey, we still got Zach Wilson, And, it's always ironic when quarterbacks play well against you, you're more likely to have a favorable opinion of them. Sam Howell scorched the Seahawks last year. They trade for him. Zach Wilson, one of his best games last season was against the Denver Broncos on the road, coincidentally enough. They trade for him, right? They know the body of work. They saw him. They saw what he did. But he played well against them. They think there's, potential there, and we'll see what ultimately becomes of Zach Wilson in Denver. I'm glad he's getting a fresh start under Sean Payton, but I still think, they're going to try to attack the quarterback position, add another guy to that mix, and go from there. But, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie Tee, here on this Louie Tee Network update, giving you the updates for the schedule this upcoming week. Schedule programming is going to be nuts, as you would expect, the week of the draft. This is arguably the biggest week of the offseason, and so we're going to treat it as such. Monday, which is today, you get a Louie Tee Network podcast. So that'll be later on tonight. In between game 2s of Knicks and Sixers and Lakers and Nuggets, will be right in that pocket between the finish of the Lakers or the Sixers Knicks game and the start of the Lakers Nuggets game. Tomorrow, Tuesday, you will get a Command Post Live, the final one before the draft. Okay. So we'll be live talking all things Commanders, what the expectation is for the draft, what things we foresee happening, foreshadow happening, what things might surprise us, what the activity level for the Commanders will be, any rumors that we've heard, anything that, and we've heard plenty of them. Are you not fatigued? This weekend, I saw a lot of Commanders fans hunched over, gasping for air. Most of you got your ass whooped this draft season. I mean, a lot of y'all look like Devin Haney, over the weekend, boy. It was rough for some of y'all. I'm looking at some of y'all and y'all like, man, no mas. This draft season has beat the shit out of you with all the rumors and this and that. And this draft process is taking y'all for a damn ride. And y'all look like y'all been through it. But it's almost mercifully coming to an end. Hang in there. You just got a few more days left. But this draft process has beat the shit out of a lot of y'all. It's been fun to watch. Because y'all hard-headed as shit. I told y'all, don't ride that damn roller coaster. Don't get in line. Don't get in line. Don't get on that ride. All right. A lot of y'all got on. You pushed that little harness down. You was like, woo, I'm ready. Let's do this. And then by the end of that first turn and that first drop, your ass was finished. One of them wooden roller coasters where your ass be doing all of this shit right here. Y'all getting y'all asses whooped, but you're almost at the finish line. Just don't vomit all over the place. Anyway, Wednesday, top 7 cornerback ranking. Talk about the cornerback position. It's a position that I expect to be ravaged by the end of day 2. There won't be much, I think, left in terms of high quality corners left by day 3. It'll be maybe 1 or 2 guys that still intrigue you. Then I think it'll become more of scheme fit at that point. Like, okay, what guy fits our scheme? You know, he might not be scheme diverse, but he fits what we want to do. I think that's what you'll see towards as you get into day 3 at corner. But we'll rank the top 7 corners in this year's draft. And I'm going to throw out a mock draft. You know, all 32 picks in the first round. Talk about, you know, as only I can, talk about why these picks are being made, what I think is going to happen, trades, all that good stuff. So I'll throw that out. Thursday, draft party, massive announcement. You guys know how this goes. We're bringing refreshments. We're bringing food. We're bringing vices, whatever, you know. Every year somebody's got some smoke. Every year somebody's eating this or, you know, drinking that. All of it is welcome except for milk. Don't let me catch you with some milk. Okay. It's problems. And you don't want no problems. You don't want no problems with me. All right. Louie Tee. Don't make me let you find out what it be. Okay, please. Let's keep it cordial. No milk. Major announcement between picks 16 and 17. Smack dab in the middle of the first round. I got a major announcement. So I want you to make sure that you're there for that. Should be a ton of fun. Friday, I'll be on Bleacher Report for day 2 of the draft from 7 to 11, breaking down all the picks in the second round. But after it is done, we're going to have the after party, like Coffee Brown. Don't stop. Come here to the Louie Tee Network for the after party. And we'll break down all things Commanders from day number 2, all their activity, and looking forward to day 3 and what we think they are going to then address. Saturday, live stream, post-draft for the Commanders. Talk about what the Commanders did. All the needs that they have addressed and you know, what we see happening, how we initially feel about a draft. And then after digesting it, you know, watching film, things of that nature could be totally different. So I think what I'll ultimately do with the mob is we'll sit down and we'll watch a little film of some of these guys to know what we're, you know, potentially getting ourselves into with some of these players. So I might, you know, put a little cut up together of some of these guys and or just snatch up a couple of games of these players and kind of give you a sense of what we're getting ourselves into potentially. That might be something we do down the road. And then Sunday, 11 a.m., Bleacher Report. Yours truly will be on talking Commanders, draft, recap, giving them a grade, talking about what I think they were able to accomplish, and kind of looking towards the future with the Commanders and what Chef P has cooked up and where we stand and what needs to be done, or are we set and ready to go and see you at training camp, right? So we'll be discussing all those things on Sunday. So Antoine Hoskins Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Antoine writes, did you see JD on Nightcap? I did. I saw bits and pieces. I didn't watch the whole thing. This is the thing. He's not our quarterback, right? So what I'm not going to do, and I've done this for all these dudes, because I don't get caught up. Like so many of y'all get caught up in all the extra, curriculars. Like until he's our quarterback, I'm not really all that captivated by what he has to say, right? Him, Drake May, none of these dudes. I haven't watched Caleb Williams. He was on the Pivot podcast. I don't care. Once you are a member of the family, that's when I start to consume things like that, right? Because what I'm not going to do is put in all this work on Jaden Daniels. So I learned a lesson once upon a time, back in 2012, when I was convinced we were going to draft Ryan Tannehill. And I put in all this work on Ryan Tannehill, and because at first I didn't love him. And, as time progressed and I put in more and more work and I watched more and more film, I convinced myself that he's going to be Jay Cutler for, Mike Shanahan, that mobile quarterback that can get out of the pocket, run those boots and, can throw on the move and be athletic, former receiver. Yeah, this is the guy, right? Convinced myself at number 6. And then we traded up to number 2 and all that shit went out the window. And I was so excited because we were getting Robert Griffin III, but there's a lot of work wasted, a lot of man hours down the drain. And I swore to myself, I'll never do that shit again. So, yeah, I watched some bits and pieces. He still doesn't sound all that enthused when they were talking about, hey, when Chad Johnson couldn't even get Terry McLaurin's name right. He's trying to hype up our options, can't even get the damn man's name right. But that's not here nor there. Jahan Dotson, as if Jahan's had a stellar start to his career, but Jahan's a dog. I still believe that. And he's like Terry McLaurin. Damn, can you get his damn name right? And I know you know who he is because you like him and you've said you've liked him. And Jaden's like, yeah, he ain't. You notice he ain't say shit. He just, yeah. I mean, what is he supposed to say, right? Yeah, I saw it. Most of it. It was cool. Like I said, I consumed enough. I wasn't like, I saw Rio was like, yo, I'm in the stream chat waiting for this nightcap. Nah, I was watching Pelly's and OKC. I wasn't waiting for it to drop and, watching it and with bated breath. Once he's a member of this team or whomever they draft, then that's when I'll start to overconsume anything that has to do with them. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, you're right. Tired of waiting on the draft. Oh, I know. I've been watching a lot of what you guys have had to say, whether it's been on my videos or other people's videos or in the comment section of Washington Commanders uploads or on social media. Y'all have gotten y'all asses tore up this draft season. I mean, this draft season has done a number on a lot of y'all. Beat the shit out of y'all. I mean, it's been fun to watch because a lot of y'all are so damn hard-headed. I said, look, don't ride that roller coaster, okay? And I told y'all that before all of this shit took place. I said, I'm telling y'all right now, be careful out here in these streets. And a lot of y'all have been duped at one point or another during this draft process. I said, you're going to hear everything. Like the odds are now fluctuating. This the same shit that happened last year. Remember, Will Levis's odds of going number 1 shot through the roof. And people were like, oh, shit, is Will Levis going to go number 1? And I was like, hey, miss me with that bullshit. It's still not Tua. It's still Bryce Young 1, and it's still CJ Stroud 2. And anybody, fight me. You think it's different? Fight me. And Will Levis ass ain't go to the second round. Now JJ McCarthy he's shooting up. Drake May's odds went up on Friday over the weekend. Oh my God. It's probably still Jaden Daniels until otherwise notified. Okay. I'm not telling you that it might not be one of these other dudes, but I've stated what I think is the situation. I'm going to repeat it once more on Tuesday night. and then we're just going to let the chips fall where they may. But I see a lot of what's going on, and I've done enough of these drafts to know better. I've seen enough of them. But yeah, anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie Tee, here on this Louie Tee Network update. Looking forward to this week. It's going to be crazy. The podcast tonight is going to be a lot of fun, and as it always is, especially when we go late night editions. Command Post going to be very interesting, because between now and then, you're going to probably hear 80 different rumors and reports about what the Commanders are going to do or not going to do, or the odds are going to change to this from that. And some of you are you're gonna literally bite down on every single thing that is tossed in your direction. Bless your heart. Mock draft, in addition to the top 7 corners in this year's draft class, Wednesday, and that takes us into Thursday and day 1 of the draft. Major announcement, don't you forget. So you'll hear about this schedule all week long, and I'll continue to repeat this over and over again. Ad nauseum. You'll probably be tired of hearing me talk about this. Just want to make sure you know what's really good. What's really good here on the Louie Tee Network, and where you can find your man Louie Tee all week long. So you guys get out of here. I will see you later. Hopefully I will see all of you later for the Louie Tee Network podcast later on tonight. I'll have that link up probably in the next hour or two, so that you know when we're going live. But it'll be in between. If that game runs a little bit longer, if I set it for 9:30 and Knicks and Sixers run until 9:45, then I'll be live 9:45, right? So it'll be in between the start of Nuggets, Lakers, and the ending of Sixers, Knicks. So y'all know how this goes. But until then, y'all have a great day. It's a beautiful day outside if you're in the Northeast. On the East Coast. Should be a beautiful day. Weather is nice right now. Enjoy the weather. I'll see you back here later on tonight. Louie Tee Network podcast. We'll talk b-ball. We'll talk about the basketball from over the weekend. We'll talk about some of the games. I think you get 4 games again tonight, or is it 3? It might be 3 games tonight. It's 3 games tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I think one of them will be on like NBA TV or something, and then you'll get the other 2 on TNT. So either way, we'll talk ball, and then we'll talk about the other ball, basketball and football. Pause for some of y'all out there that's just, mine stay in the gutter, man. Just, I can't with some of y'all. Anyway, I'll see you guys later on for the Louie Tee Network podcast. Until then, y'all take it easy. God bless, and have a great day.